Super Bowl 54 will conclude our 100th season. Congratulations to South Florida. They will host Super Bowl 54.
Ain't no better time to be great than today!
The Super Bowl is a massive effort.
We've got 4 miles of truss.
18 32,000 lumen projectors.
We're making sort of an arena inside of a ballpark.
The best feeling is when it starts to look like the pictures.
The Super Bowl has to be the greatest single-day sporting event, and we have to make sure that happens.
The process really starts, in many cases, 6, 7 years out from when the game will be played, when you're working with a city who's interested in hosting a Super Bowl. Within the proposal that they submit to us, so many of the foundational elements are put in place. Where are the events going to take place? What's the center of gravity for the Super Bowl? What is the city's vision for how that Super Bowl will come to life there?
Certainly it's a pleasure for us and an honor for us to be hosting the 100th anniversary season, the last game of the 100th anniversary season. We also know how to throw a great party.
You do need those fundamental things. You need a world-class stadium, the core infrastructure to host all of the fans and staff and others who will come in for Super Bowl, so that's a really robust hotel base. Because Super Bowl has become really a 9-day event, you need the facilities and transportation and other elements to put on the big events that have now become these staples of the Super Bowl week calendar. There's a lot of quantifiable things that you can look at. There's a lot of things you can measure around why a city would get it. And then there are those factors of, is this going to be a great partnership that ultimately is going to continue to take the Super Bowl to the next level?
The Super Bowl is a massive effort. It's the largest single-day event in the entire world. I've worked on all sorts of events from the scale of the Olympics, Major League Baseball All-Star Game, all sorts of them. The amount of effort for the ability to host this event is just tremendous.
This is not a cookie-cutter event. This is, first of all, the world's largest and greatest single-day sporting event. And you can't just drop that down into a city and expect to do it the exact same way you did it the year before. Every city is unique. And when you're creating these events, when you're thinking about these experiences, you really want to weave into the fabric of the city. So there's a lot of real Miami and South Florida that's happening at the Super Bowl compared to what we did in Atlanta, compared to what we did in Minnesota.
And when it's time to begin figuring out how it's all going to come together, there's a group in the NFL office in New York City that's ready.
The NFL events team is a large group of people who work for the National Football League whose responsibility is every little detail of the Super Bowl in the weeks and months leading up to the Super Bowl game. All of the logistics and then all of the color and pageantry that goes into making the Super Bowl what it is. Every big thing you might see on television around the Super Bowl, down to the little moments of what's the experience when the fan arrives. It takes a small army to put on the Super Bowl, and our job is to kind of be the center of that process. Work with the city where the event is being hosted, work with the team in that market, and then really work with every single part of the NFL on and off the field to make sure that ultimately this big moment that is on the bucket list of so many fans goes off smoothly.
We know what we have here, and our goal will always be to evolve, will always to be better. Every year we want our fans to experience something new, see something different, feel a different way. And whatever is being done in the industry, it starts at the Super Bowl, and that's where everybody gets to see it for the first time.
Preparing for the Super Bowl takes years and grows increasingly more intense in the final months, especially here at the September planning meetings.
The planning for the Super Bowl in Miami is 4 years in the making. Now we're in the phase of what you would call crunch time.
We are tightening down the hatches, so to speak.
These meetings here in September, these are working sessions. This is where you get in the room, you throw a plan on the table, and you pick it apart until you know it's going to work. We'll make sure that all groups are buying in. We'll make sure we've got the plans that we need. And then come January 1st, it's beginning to execute those plans.
The cars will be arriving northbound. They will drop here and continue on out the fire lane.
The events team is on site finalizing every last detail for each key event and location that makes up Super Bowl week. Super Bowl experience, fan gallery and media center, opening night, NFL honors, and of course the game itself at Hard Rock Stadium, which recently completed a more than $500 million renovation.
Everything in the stadium has been touched in one way or another, whether it's the seating bowl with all the new seating experiences that we've provided. There are 5 new premium clubs. We've renovated every suite, 4 brand new video boards. There's a shade canopy above the stadium which protects over 90% of our fans from rain or the sunshine here in South Florida.
Perhaps the broadest detail, or at least the most visible, is the decor.
So these are 80-foot spans on the corners of the stadium. We'll do 2 to 3 corners of the stadium. So our creative and design team come down to Miami on site visits before. They try to get a feel for the city, what are the great elements about Miami, what should we incorporate into that style guide to make it feel very original to where we are. And then they develop the assets out of that, the typography, the photos, everything that goes into that piece. So our creative team starts out with a number of different concepts, usually 4 to 5 concepts. As we whittle those down, we go through with our executives, we go through with many people in the building, and then once we get down to 2 to 3, we take a vote, and then we come to the final design, and then we design from there. We kind of put ourselves in the footsteps of fans, and what are they seeing when they come here? What are people on TV, on the broadcast seeing? How can we make that better, take that to greater heights? When you land in the airport, what are you seeing when you first get off that plane that makes you feel like you've landed at Super Bowl? When you're walking around the city, what's getting you excited for Sunday? We've had games where people come through security and they look up and they just scream because they're so excited to finally be at the Super Bowl. And for many people, it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, so we want to make sure that we capture something very special for them.
The decor sets the tone for the very first step fans take in Miami. But the first event, the moment that signifies Super Bowl week is underway, comes the Monday before the game.
Hi everybody and welcome to Super Bowl opening night.
Welcome back to Super Bowl opening night for Super Bowl 50.
I wanted to welcome everybody to Super Bowl opening night working group meeting. Opening night is our kickoff to Super Bowl week. It's the first time that the participating team, players and coaches are made available to the media.
Number 1.
We have a lot of theatrical elements that are involved, including team introductions, joint team appearance where we have the captains of the 2 teams and the coaches coming together in a unique way that's never happened before in Super Bowl history. Starting in Indianapolis for Super Bowl 46, we opened up the doors to the fans. It's really a great opportunity for the players to get to experience some of the fun things that are part of Super Bowl. You know, you have your regular, reporters that they're used to, but then you also have some other kinds of media from a variety of different outlets that really make it more fun and loose than some of the standard stuff that they're used to.
Will you have the power of the divine beast?
Will I have the power of the divine beast? Whatever the hell that means, I hope so.
I want to take a picture of you guys too.
Can you spell Palomalo?
Just about that action, boss.
This year's event will take place at Marlins Park, home of Major League Baseball's Miami Marlins. And like previous Super Bowls, the events team is looking to continue growing the primetime spectacle that launches Super Bowl week.
It's amazing to just think that you're doing a press conference in a ballpark. In itself, that's a unique and an interesting experience, and that we're building stadium in a stadium. Now we'll get into the schedule. So we'll talk a little bit about our load-in schedule, and then Michael will get into a little bit of how the evening itself will play out. You want everyone that's involved in whatever you're creating to have the experience they need to get the jobs done that they need to have fun, if they're there as a spectator. It's all of those things coming together, in that right way to really create a memory that they're never going to get, most likely, ever again in their lives.
Do hugs. Oh, good to see you, man. How you doing? I love you guys.
So we do have some offices here for the media center. NFL events office and transportation office is going to be this first door here.
The media center is really the epicenter of all media operations for Super Bowl week. So we have our broadcast networks here, we've got our digital platforms like Yahoo, we've got Snapchat, we have all of our radio row, so our radio stations are broadcasting here, and then we also have sponsor activations, media workrooms, press conferences, and we actually also bring fans in to view all the fun that's going on.
It is a beautiful space, huh? Okay guys, so we're standing in Radio Row Fan Gallery now.
The specific purpose of this meeting today is to walk through mainly our broadcast partners and our digital platforms to make sure that they're okay with their set positions and they understand the logistics and operations of the building, and that everybody can kind of go along with their plans and execute them properly. There's so much logistics that go into this. We need proper space, proper power, internet.
Anybody would like a floor plan of Radio Row? I've got one right here. Usually we've got about 10 or so networks and 140 radio stations. We get a couple hundred trailers that'll come in over the course of a couple weeks. So getting everything all situated in the space itself takes a lot of labor and manpower to get done. Reliability when it comes to IT connectivity and power is definitely something that there's no room for error on. When there's live broadcasts going on, everybody needs to be up and running at the same time without any blips.
We're very thankful to be at the Miami Beach Convention Center this year, and we're sharing the building with the Super Bowl experience, which is on the first floor. So that means that we can share security, but we also have to share things like the loading dock. So there's a lot of planning that goes into build out.
Super Bowl Experience is the 6-day-long fan festival that we hold at the Miami Beach Convention Center. So it's that authentic football festival. Celebrates all 32 teams. The Vince Lombardi Trophy is there, all 53 Super Bowl rings. We have a lot of player appearances. They're loading in Thursday the 22nd. So now is when we start doing the production calls with the sponsors to figure out what they want to do. We want to make sure everything that they do is pro football centric. It's not something that they did at NASCAR or did at MLB. It's something specific to the National Football League. During the week, over 100,000 people will come through. A lot of technology, a lot of LED, sort of sensory overload when you get there. Not everybody's a football fan, but I think that when you get to the event, you are converted into one because we have something for everybody.
So we've covered the decor and the stadium, opening night, the media center and fan gallery, and Super Bowl experience. Now, it's time to celebrate.
Welcome to the 5th annual NFL Honors. Give yourselves a hand.
We like to call it kind of the Oscars of the NFL, but honestly, it's really more than that.
The 2018 AP Most Valuable Player is Patrick Mahomes!
What it really has become is a celebration of everything that both the season has been, and now that we've added in the Man of the Year, we have the Hall of Fame. It's become so much bigger than we had ever envisioned.
You're one of the biggest stars in the game. People are freaking out that you're here in Atlanta. Who are you excited to see tonight?
Joe Namath.
It's a unique show because every year we're in a different city. Typically with a show like this, you're in a venue multiple times, so you have familiarity with all the inner workings, with seating. Specifically, we really start digging into stuff about a year out, and then as we get closer, we fine-tune everything. There's a nice place we could do something with Steve up on this first level if we wanted to.
Okay.
But I'm just not sure who's gonna be up there.
The planning of the event logistics really start to gel at this particular site survey.
In the case of some places, your challenge is a red carpet outside in February in Minneapolis.
So it's almost showtime. This is the red carpet. This is NFL Honors.
You have to think about this as not just 1 2-hour broadcast show, but also it really is a celebration of football players coming together in one space the night before the biggest event of the football calendar.
This year the stage is much narrower, so it's just about figuring out what are the things that we really need. All the puzzle pieces are the same, but the frame of the puzzle changes. We don't have a lot of time to fix problems, and we have to sort of anticipate them ahead of time.
We're kind of checking all the boxes, making sure that the show can take place as we envisioned it.
There's one other high-profile locale in Miami that will transform for the occasion, although not everyone will get to see it.
NFL houses our membership-only VIP drop-in hospitality that takes place during Super Bowl. It's really an integration of football, hospitality, and the city where we're hosting the game. We start the process about a year out. First and foremost as location, looking for a place that's somewhat central for all of our guests, but also something that captures the culture and the vibe of the city that we're hosting the Super Bowl in. We bring our production company in, we assess the space. Our decor team and our branding team work very closely together and start doing layouts and potential design. The reason that we chose the Faena Forum for NFL House is because we felt it exuded Miami. It's a little bit modern, it's a brand new venue, so everything is new and clean and elegant, and I think there's some design and character to it, but it also is a blank enough canvas that we can put our own spin on it.
When these September meetings wrap, the NFL events team will continue fine-tuning the plan over the course of the regular season. Then they'll make one more trip to Miami as the season winds down to go over any remaining question marks, and when the calendar turns as the new year arrives, it's showtime.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Hard Rock Stadium. It's time for the pigskin to fly at the site of this year's Super Bowl.
We got to lock in our plans. We've got to go. So when you get into this phase, we do one more big planning meeting down in early December, and that's when the team really makes sure that everybody knows each other's plans and we're locked and ready to go. And then that last Dolphins game is played.
Kick on the way. Good!
The Orange Bowl is played in Hard Rock Stadium.
35 days from now, they'll play Super Bowl 54 here. Tonight, it's the 86th Orange Bowl.
And then we take occupancy, if you will.
We will be in here no matter what, starting on January 2nd.
And the build-out begins, transforming what's an incredible stadium and an incredible campus into the Super Bowl campus.
Yeah, so this banner right here, so we're replacing this. So we're replacing all 4 of these. So here we are on day 1 of stadium decor. The Miami Dolphins season has ended. Orange Bowl is over, so now the stadium's turned over to the NFL, and a lot of movement going on. For example, Ring of Honor, you can see up here all the Dolphins Hall of Famers. We're going to be covering up that level with a decor piece for Super Bowl. You can see up here we got this white banner that's underneath the scoreboard. That's a permanent installation that's backlit. We're currently going to be taking out those and replacing with the Super Bowl piece today. It's been a few seasons since doing a Super Bowl in an outdoor facility, so there's a lot of different challenges that you deal with. Number 1 is wind, number 2 is rain. So those are things that we need to plan around and constantly be gauging what the weather's gonna be so that we can plan our processes out. Our big hit for the exterior of the stadium is the east elevation dimensional letters. In years past, we've always had a stadium that has given us a really big facade from which to put a big adhesive vinyl graphic on the side of the stadium. This stadium is not like that, so we needed to project a big Super Bowl LIV message on the side of the stadium, big 10-foot dimensional letters on the top of the east roof that then will extend down further to make them appear 15 feet tall by putting graphics below them on the front of the facade. So we're installing the dimensional letters today, and we'll be working those through the rest of this week. Really excited how those turn out, because I think they're going to be really impactful. You look out here behind me, you've got some of the new booths, the media booths, and other things that are going to get built up, and the Ring of Honor, and all the way down each level, you've got a lot of white and teal. And our goal after this whole thing is going to be over, when we're ready for Super Bowl, is that we're going to put decor on all of these faces so that the only thing that's left that's teal inside the stadium are going to be the seats. We'll have covered up all of the walls with Super Bowl branded decor, and people are going to walk in and they're going to have the feeling like this is what this stadium looks like 100% of the time.
Hard Rock Stadium is the most prominent and most important location, but it's just one of many the Blue Media team will be transforming in the days ahead. There's one problem though. We're still nearly 2 weeks away from even knowing which teams will be taking the field, which means team-specific graphics and team hotel decor will have to wait.
All of our creative is set up using the teams from last year as an approximate. And then once we know the final 4 teams, all creative is versioned that way. So we have hundreds of files that get versioned for the final 4 teams, so we can hit print the second those games are done.
In the meantime, load-in continues across Miami.
So the Super Bowl experience started load-in this morning at 6 a.m. and right now, as you can see, we're just kind of getting everything set up and marked out. We're going to unload probably 25, 30 trucks today. We've got 650,000 square feet down here on the floor. So we're running about 150,000 square feet of artificial grass that we do, about 500,000 square feet of carpet. We've got a 20,000 square foot clinic field that we're working with. We've got roughly 4 miles of truss. We've got over 450 chain motors that we're putting up in the air, and then anywhere between 250 to 300 people per day are working to build the Super Bowl experience. Being here in Miami, it's great. We can keep all the doors open to the convention center, unlike Minneapolis where it's freezing outside. So what's great is all the equipment works, your tape sticks to the floor, everybody can wear short sleeves and shorts, pants, and walk around and be nice and comfortable. 72 degrees here inside the convention center, as opposed to the last couple years when it's been so cold that forklifts would freeze up, golf carts wouldn't run, all that kind of stuff, even though you're inside the whole time. So we take our diagrams that we've been working on for the last year about, and what we do is kind of mark everything out on the floor. We get a grid, so power knows where they're going, internet knows where they're going, rigging knows where they're going, and that's really our focus, is to lay a good ground plan for everything to be built.
Welcome to the NFC Championship. Welcome again to the AFC Championship. You're one game away from that promised land. Mostert touchdown, his third. Richard Sherman ends this game.
Congratulations, 49ers. We'll see you in Miami.
Oh, he goes down. And this game is over. And so is the 50-year drought between Super Bowls.
We're not done yet. We're going to get it.
Today is day one of the build. We're building out grandstands, and you can see that it's taking shape right across the infield and the outfield of the ballpark. We're gonna have our event right in the middle. We're making sort of an arena inside of a ballpark. It's 20 semis full of gear that has been moved in from everywhere from Canada to St. Petersburg, Florida, that have come here and have been unloading on this site and outside the doors for like the last 5 days. Every bit of audio is coming from us. We're bringing that in. All of the lighting, we're bringing that in as well. In fact, we're shutting off all of the sport lighting, all of the concourse lighting. We're primarily using just the lights that we're bringing in. So we're truly building every last piece of this thing.
We've got a lot more done since we were looking at yesterday. We had a crew of about 165 people come in today. So you see the NFL shop structure is starting to take shape. So they've got 30,000 square feet of NFL retail space they're doing over here. As you can see, a lot of our rigging, our truss is starting to get flown. So these are going to be some of our field games, our field goal kick, our Hail Mary, things like that. And then over here, you'll see these rolls of blue. This is all the carpet. This is about roughly probably 150,000 square feet of blue carpet that's going to get put down within the next couple days. And then obviously, as you can see down here, a lot of our equipment and lifts and things are going to be doing some of our 450 rig points. They're going to hang, again, all the lighting, sound, signage, all that kind of stuff. So to this point, we've unloaded about 80 to 90 semi-tractor trailers. And then we're going to do at least another 50 trailers tomorrow. And then between Tuesday and Wednesday, we'll be well up over 250 trailers that we've unloaded to that point. Today's Wednesday. We're now 5 days into the setup here at the Super Bowl experience, and we're starting to get into a lot of the detail work, which is great. As you can see, we're starting to paint logos here on the field. We've got the actual field painters from the stadium come out, and they do all of this for us on our clinic field. We're starting to get a lot of our video screens set up. We're starting to see some content on a lot of things. So carpet's starting to fill in. Some of the various little aisleways, and a ton of sponsors are in now, so things are really moving along.
There is still plenty of decor to go up and locations to build, but it's time to start preparing the field for the main event. And there's only one man for the job, the legend himself, George Toma.
Super Bowl 24.
George Toma, who will celebrate his 91st birthday on Super Bowl Sunday, has led the Super Bowl grounds crew every year since the very first. And even more fitting, he spent nearly 3 decades with the Chiefs.
I was the head groundkeeper for the Chiefs from 1963 until 1989. The Hunt family, Lamar Hunt and I was very close, and we would walk the field every morning about 8, 9 o'clock before the game.
Toma's crew has expanded from a team of 4 at Super Bowl I in 1967 to a crew of 40 here in Miami. It's comprised of field prep experts from across the NFL, as well as college football and Major League Baseball.
This gets more hectic day by day. Right now we're painting the end zones, the Super Bowl logos, and we painted yesterday, but we had a heavy rain last night, so we're repainting it today. This is a beautiful stadium, but half the field don't get any sun. So we have these grow lights. There's 39 feet wide and 69 feet long, and we have 12 of them that cover half the field. There's a lot of work. We'll get it done somehow, some way.
We're doing the build-out for the NFL VIP lounge. We're taking care of these two big rooms and a room downstairs. This is going to be a ceiling mobile. Lights will dance through it, and so when people are down on the floor, they'll see these beautiful shapes of footballs and circles all over the floor.
Right now I'm just kind of prepping the show files, so I'm putting all the preset positions and the color fades and the effects and everything into the moving lights, making sure they're focused, making sure they work, troubleshooting problems.
Oh, they smell nice. So we'll be putting these in these nice frames. Looks great. So this is kind of our focal point and our main entry for some of the guests that are coming through this way. And then Sam has designed a beautiful fountain in the center.
We made a kind of custom pattern tile featuring the 100 logos around the center. And originally we were inspired by Versace's mansion. This is a little more intimate, it's a little more private. Upstairs is a little more of a party environment. We have some games upstairs. So we kind of have the themes that support the functions of each room too.
These giant letters will be on the opposite side, right across the middle. Kind of say, this is kind of like branding and marking this space. So they light up. Super, super cool.
It's always a little tricky to move in for Radio Row. We've got upwards of 60 or 70 trucks that get unloaded over the course of the week. 300,000 pounds of material that gets unloaded down the loading dock and gets forklifted off trucks and pallet jacked up to the grand ballroom. Hundreds of feet of truss, lots of rigging that takes place, and hundreds of tables, chairs, stanchion posts, pipe and drape, and things like that. We've got 7 different networks, and we've got 8 sponsors, as well as about 130 radio stations. And inside of the broadcast sets, you've got some with multiple stages at any given time broadcasting live shows.
We're 2 days out. We have all of our seating up and ready to go. Our main concourse is buttoning up, so we now have a total venue and a venue where you can walk 360 around the main concourse. We have a stage, we have a barrier. This side will have some fans, and then on the other side is where the media will be interacting with the players. You can see that we have a stage in the middle. This is a new thing because we are 100% in the round, a true in the round venue. There is no backstage, which is kind of cool and kind of challenging when it comes to the production folks. So we have cameras now going all the way around. We have lights all the way around. We have audio all the way around. So this is truly an interactive thing where everywhere you are in the house, you'll be able to see a player, some interaction, some activity. For fan activations, we think that with 5,000 fans, we can get a lot of people up close and personal to the players. We can get them autographs from the legends. We are prepared to accommodate 2,000 media on this floor. We've got 3 different broadcasts going on. Today we're getting ready for tech check, testing the lights, setting different moods. We'll have a whole bunch of different scenes that are synced up with the different elements of the show. That's all going to happen tonight and get programmed.
So Saturday morning, January 25th, this is the opening day of Super Bowl Experience here at the Miami Beach Convention Center. A couple late nights, but we're able to get everything checked off the list, and so we've got all activations are up and running. Basically, we've switched now from full production mode to full operations mode.
This year we're open 6 days, but it's a full flight of 9 days, but it usually takes about 1,000 people a day to run this thing. So between security and volunteers and technology managers, it's a big, big undertaking.
Coming in and taking a bare concrete floor, white walls, and a completely empty convention center, and what we're able to transform in 7 days really is pretty remarkable, and our team is fantastic. The NFL is obviously a great partner to work with. A lot of hard work all year long goes into planning this and getting everything open and right. But at the end of the day, seeing it all come together, from seeing everything on paper to what we're able to accomplish here with hard work of a lot of people, is pretty satisfying, and obviously looking forward to a great week.
A lot of months of planning has gotten us to this point. The best feeling for me is when it starts to look like the pictures, when it starts to look like the rendering that you drew. And I feel, you know, walking in here this morning, that it's really starting to come to life and take shape as to how we envisioned it. There's a lot of different things that still have to come together. We have to do constant walkthroughs of looking at various pieces to make sure that, you know, everything is where it needs to be. Each team is going to come out through this tunnel right over here. We'll drop the lights, you know, go right into the center where they'll be introduced and have their moment on stage where everybody cheers. The interesting and cool part of this is that we are now able to let the fans that are over on this side of the venue be able to see the guys being interviewed over here on the video board. Those are each of the podiums that you'll be able to see, so no matter where you are in the venue, you can look up at the screen and you're going to be able to see who's being interviewed. And then we give everybody an in-ear radio. So they'll be able to flip around and hear the audio of each of the individual interviews of whoever they want to listen to and hear. We're creating our own little Miami Beach kind of feel for fans to kind of hang out over here and be able to see, from that perspective as well. We actually added a 12th spot. This position isn't assigned to any specific guy, but what will happen is throughout the evening in each session, we're going to take one of the players that's on the floor, bring him over to this spot to be interviewed by the fans. And it'll rotate during each session where you'll have different players, even some coaches that are going to just come out here and do the interviews with the fans all around. So that's never happened at this event before. There's always some little quirky things, and we'll be here through the night looking at every little detail to try to make sure that this table is turned this way and this area is buttoned up that way to make sure that everything is as perfect as it possibly can be.
As Monday of Super Bowl week arrives, Load-In is underway at the Adrian Arch Center, home of this year's NFL Honors. They have 5 days to build the red carpet and transform the auditorium into a made-for-TV awards show studio. Meanwhile, about 2.5 miles away, the countdown to kickoff is about to formally begin.
Super Bowl opening night. We are at Marlins Park in downtown Miami, less than 15 miles from Hard Rock Stadium, the site of Super Bowl 54.
Attention please, doors are now officially open. Doors are now officially open, which means Super Bowl week is underway.
We at Marlins Park tonight, man. If you ain't here, you ain't nowhere.
Thousands of media members pellet the players and coaches with all kinds of questions. Each team gets an hour in front of the cameras.
I'm George Kittle. Who are you?
Lizzo, Rihanna, or Cardi B, who would you choose? Lizzo, definitely.
You want to be just like
I appreciate that, man. You can be, for sure.
This is where the top of the red carpet's going to be. 2 entrances. The first is the sort of the general public, and all the guests, the sponsors, will be starting there. And the shot that you're going to get from the NFL Network set will be looking back towards that bridge and this way. What I'm standing on right now is going to be a party. So we'll have this all blocked off, and this will be part of the party before the show. VIPs, the talent will be coming out in limos here on Biscayne, and then talking to the NFL Network, and then proceeding to the red carpet. There's a 40% chance of rain. Just keep those fingers crossed. This is the Ziff Ballet Opera House. We're loading everything in. TV trucks came today. We're still loading in all our tech equipment. We are testing everything out. In terms of script, we're just pulling that together now. We just had our rundown meeting, and that tells us about how much time we have for each element, figuring out who's presenting, who's doing a comedy bit, who's going to be positioned with Steve Harvey off stage, in the house. So really it's the creative elements that are getting pulled together now. We'll rehearse with Harvey here tomorrow also. So today what you're really seeing is the tech elements get put into place, the script,
starts to take shape, and then it's just rehearse, rehearse, rehearse. So here we've got our TV trucks. We've got 2 of them, one for videotape, and then one is where the director is going to be sitting during the show. Do you guys want to see inside the truck by any chance? In the middle of the production, if something's going wrong, this is where it gets crazy. We're talking to the producer's table, they're backstage, and then you have the director here. And I mean, during the Hall of Fame announcement, this is so much fun. The director's going crazy, like, camera 1, camera 2, no, stay on him, stay on him. He starts yelling and screaming, and it's really fun. I mean, maybe not to everybody, but to me it is. You got it. Hey, how are you? This is our executive in charge of all the talent bookings. So this is just how we plan it out and visualize every single seat that you see for the reaction shots that the director's hoping to catch. And also for our, talent, if we're gonna pull someone from a seat, we have to know where they're sitting. So it's just a huge part of our show.
Teams that are in the game cannot attend the show, but what then we have is a presenter who's a famous face from the home city of Kansas City, for example. So Paul Rudd would take a prominent spot. So every year we have Coach Don Shula, and here we are in his hometown. We do have the 1972 Miami Dolphins team. They are legendary.
With less than 5 days to kickoff remaining, Hard Rock Stadium is all but ready for its time in the spotlight, both inside and out. As for above, there's one more installation coming together.
Stadiums in particular, we're always trying to do something we haven't done before. We want to push the envelope just a little bit further.
For this year, we're rolling out a never-been-seen-before item. It's a sky projection. The best way to describe it is we're going to do the bat signal above Hard Rock Stadium here.
So we're hoping that people would see it as far out as the highways and stop and say, what's going on out there? I must go see, and that it would become a really big news story throughout those days.
This is the debut of our sky projection. What we've done is we've managed to float above Hard Rock Stadium the assets for Super Bowl 54. We've got a custom designed screen. We've got 18 32,000 lumen projectors for a total of over 500,000 lumens being projected up onto the screen. So what you see behind me has never been done before, and we're extremely excited at the result.
We do tastings leading up to the actual NFL House experience, just making sure we kind of touch on the cuisine of the market that we're in, but also that we follow the flow of our guests. Wednesday night, we do a party for all NFL working staff who are in town for Super Bowl. It's kind of our chance to test the venue, work out any of the issues we may have the night prior, and then we open the next day, Thursday at noon. This is a paid membership, so we want to make sure they have a positive experience when they come to NFL House. It's always about the wow factor for us. We want them to come in and say, wow, the NFL has really captured the vibe, the elegance of Miami, and how amazingly we integrated it with football. I really want people to say the food was great, the experience was great, everything about it was great, and walk away saying, when I go to Super Bowl next year, I really want to make sure we're members of NFL House so we can experience it again.
6. Check. 1, 2.
So I got John Elway. He's in row D, which is the 4th row for the camera seat.
I was walking through the theater, and when we rehearse, we put placards with pictures on them in the seats where the stars are going to be sitting. And I'm just stunned. I've never seen, an array of stars, past and present. I think it's going to provide an incredible show for tomorrow night. The key to a show like this, any show that's a live show that has this many elements, not just this, but there's the red carpet, there's all sorts of things, the level of detail, right? It only takes one small thing to cause a cascading effect across everything you do. I know all the elements, every single one of them. The individual pieces are, I think, extraordinary, the best we've ever done. Does it all come together when it's supposed to come together? You never really know. Things that you think are going to be brilliant aren't, and things that you think you're a little nervous about end up being the hit of the show. And then they all have to come together in a cohesive fashion so the show as a whole flows and makes sense. So that's always what I look for. Is, you know, I spend a lot of time sitting in the audience, actually. So I'm trying to see it the way this audience sees it and the way the audience at home will see it. And it's always interesting to see, is it working? And you can look around in the room and say, are they liking it? Does it have energy?
So PR people, once you are done, you bring the player out here. Someone with an umbrella will take them. You are done with that player. The weather has been our #1 issue today. There's a chance that we had lightning. If lightning got within 8 miles of the venue, we were going to have to pull everybody in, immediately evacuate, and then reshape our carpet to have the limos dropping off at the front instead of on Biscayne Bay. We've basically been producing 2 shows to account for the weather, but so far it's held out and it's looking good. It's a little rainy, but it's okay. We can deal with it.
Oh my gosh, Ray Lewis out here at NFL Honors.
Someone just asked me, do you feel good about it? And I said, this is when I always feel the worst. We've done the rehearsal. Everything looks fine, knock on something. And now we just have to do it. When are you going to feel it? When it's over and we've done a great job. That's the qualifier. Always.
Right here.
Look, we're ready to go.
From the Adrian Arsht Center for Performing Arts in Miami, it's the 2020 NFL Honors. Please welcome your host, Steve Harvey.
Welcome everybody to the 9th annual NFL Honors. This is a big one. We're celebrating 100 years. Thank you.
The measures of success, I mean, it sounds a little bit overly simplistic. Are people having a good time? You know, did we provide enough celebration moments? Did we provide some serious moments? Did we provide emotional, evocative moments that bring people to the edge of tears? You have to do all that in a show. And by the way, you can't do them all in one place.
Ready, 1, take 1.
11 for sponsor.
Right, ready 9, take 9. Ready 11, take 11. Great, get Ruben and the Future Kings ready to go.
You have to thread it through the entire show.
It's that moment when Canton comes calling.
Adrian James.
Troy Polamalu.
Jimmy Johnson. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together. This is your 2020 class of the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
You want to bring people up, down, around, and let them sort of feel it. That's what makes it interesting for them.
That little bit of extra time can make a world of difference. Those 5 minutes can change your life. We'll see you all tomorrow. The greatest game on earth, the Super Bowl. Good night.
Happy game day. Just coming in and looking to get the day started. I'm going to spend some time walking the entire building. So just going to walk every floor, every area to make sure that everything is buttoned up and ready, you know, for game day. And ultimately, we'll end the walk at NFL Control, where I will be the rest of the day. So it's just trying to make sure that I get eyes on everything, any little detail that I can flag. Like making sure we have stickers on the You Are Here maps and every little minor thing, you know, which hopefully at this point that's all it is. And then ultimately we will get ready for all of what's scheduled and then be prepared for everything that's not, which is always the fun of game day.
And it is time for the Super Sunday edition of NFL Game Day Morning. We are live in Miami, Florida. It's the 11th Super Bowl here in Miami. The first one we all know is the famed Joe Namath guarantee. The year after that was when the Chiefs were last in the Super Bowl. It's been 50 long years.
Not a bad view for the game, huh? We're continuing to check off, as we hit different key things on the schedule, like buses are starting to arrive. We have Coach Shanahan is in the building, so the equipment staff and all those for both teams are here, cheerleaders are here. We're just starting to welcome everybody to the site and get everything ready for when we open parking lots, which will be at the top of the hour, and then ultimately when gates open at 2 o'clock. So those are the key things that we're driving towards, and then we're just reacting to things as they come up. Certain spaces are too hot, certain spaces are too cold, this is missing here, and be ready for welcoming the 60,000 plus people into the site. I can't believe that it's almost 1 o'clock. I mean, it's like I feel like I just got here this morning before we even started our walk, and it's already been 7 hours. There's certainly a lot more work to come, and a lot more check-ins. We're confirming who's going to be doing 2-minute warnings, who I'm going to be communicating with, so we can get the teams ready to get them out of the locker rooms when we're ready for introductions, and all those other pieces. So all those things are coming into light, and we're just reacting now to a variety of different things, from different elements of the pregame show to different talent arrivals to the teams coming to just getting everything prepped and ready.
The NFL is about magical moments, and we're about to have one here.
The NFL 100 all-time team.
Night has already fallen here in South Florida.
So much on the line. That's what's at stake today.
Playmakers on 3, 1, 2, 3, perfect. Be great on 3, 1, 2, 3, be great. Kickoff is approaching, so let's head down to the field.
The 49ers are going out onto the field here.
The Chiefs Kingdom have never been more excited than they are at this moment.
Believe that this is our moment.
I think we're ready to go. Get ready for the flash bulbs to pop.